Interested in moving, and we want you to know we put a special package together just for you. What I want you to do is go to revivaltoday.com/moving. Fill out that form, and then once we get that form, we'll send you a special package that's full of resources to help you get to know Pittsburgh. We're so excited. We know you are so excited, and we can't wait to see you at Revival Today Church.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as Dallas and I are here to announce our next big move, biggest move we've ever made for Revival Today. Behind me is a building that will look nothing like it looks right now when we finish. We're on just under 5 acres of property that we've just finished purchasing, which is going to give us the ability to have a state-of-the-art studio. And in that studio, something I've wanted to have for a long time, which is a live studio audience. It's going to be a 500-seat building when we finish with it that'll give us the ability to touch the world with our broadcasts. This facility is going to give me the ability to do what I've really missed, which is having you in the audience to minister to personally. Obviously, you can't beat the reach of digital media. We touch the whole world every day, but we have the ability now with this to lay hands on people, pray for people that are sick, a place where you can bring people that are drug addicted, demonized, and really give them the ministry that you can't get on YouTube and Facebook. I can't wait. And then beyond that, we're going to announce the launch of Revival Today Church. We're going to hold Holy Ghost church services every Sunday morning. I'll be there most Sunday mornings. This isn't going to be like some little side project. We're going to give you and your family a place you can go that's a soul-winning church that values the presence of God, where you can get prayed for and ministered to, where there's not a critical race theory lecture or a mass and social distancing 10 minutes of no talking to anybody in the lobby. None of that. We're going to have a place where you're free and where you're free to experience the presence of God.
I'm incredibly excited because I know a lot of you have been asking about different meetings and events that we couldn't have during COVID, and trust me, we tried so hard. So this really frees us up to do everything that we want to do with healing meetings and women's conferences. So I am so looking forward to seeing you and having you be a part of this.
So I want to give you a twofold call to action. Number one, if your church turned in to a liberal nightmare in 2020 and you need a place to go, I would be happy to have you at our church. Number two, if you are a partner or a friend of our ministry, Revival Today, this is the biggest move by far we've ever made. By the time we finish remodeling that building, the acquiring of the property, you're looking at a couple of M's. So if you would stand with us now, I'll say thank you ahead of time. Pray and ask the Holy Ghost what He would have you to do. You've been so generous, and I thank you ahead of time for your extreme generosity. I know I speak on behalf of my wife, everybody here at Revival Today, when I say we love you very much. And now I can say I look forward to seeing you face to face here at the new home of Revival Today.
Hey.
We need more of that. Let them feel it today.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market. Today, Tuesday. Got to connect to my internet here real quick. How's everybody doing? Charles, thanks for tuning in. Patrick, Ludwig, Sandra, Brother Akeem from Zambia, welcome. Welcome everybody. Here we go. Cryptocurrencies up again. Bitcoin $62,000. You put all your money in Bitcoin last night? Well, in that case, you're up about 3%. Let's take a look here. About 2%. So good job, Becca. Letitia, good morning. Scott, Joshua. Yes, Sandra, absolutely. At least they're not all in the red. It's looking good for cryptocurrencies here. Ethereum's up. XRP is at 109. Let's see if there's any of them that are really cruising. Strikecoin up 83,000% today. Whatever that is. Let's take a look, see if there's any crazy ones. Markets are open.
We need more of that. Let them feel it today.
Let's see where markets are at. Markets were up this morning, and it looks like they opened up on good earnings reports. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate that. Christy, good morning. Keith, what do you realistically think Bitcoin and Ethereum can hit by end of the year? I think that by the end of the year, Bitcoin, if it keeps on the current trajectory, that Bitcoin can hit 100,000, or at least close to 100,000, and Ethereum 8 to 10,000. That's what I'm thinking. That's realistic. Bitcoin's at 62,000. I think that 62.5. I think it's not unrealistic for Bitcoin to hit 100,000 this bull run. No, those aren't real Bitcoins. Would be nice if I had that many Bitcoins right there. Bitcoin Cash. I haven't looked at Bitcoin Cash in a while. I do own some, 611. Bitcoin Cash seems to be it hasn't really recovered from back in May. Was it 1600? But it hasn't really recovered from those levels. So it has been lagging. But I do own some Bitcoin Cash. Just a little bit of it. Teenager sells NFT for how much? Analyzing the SEC's meme stock report and more today. Let's get into the market news this morning. Make sure you share the broadcast with all your friends that are interested, or even if they're not interested in investing, they need to get interested. That depends on what, Joshua, on what price point you got into it. If you're up a little bit of money, I would... There's others that I would invest in before I invested in Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. XRP, I saw a news article that they are working together with the Bank of England to produce a CBDC. $20. Wow. Yeah, so you're way up on Bitcoin Cash. I would take some profit, honestly, and invest it in some other ones. That's awesome. So yeah, if you got into Bitcoin Cash at $20, I would take some profits off the table and invest it in some of the other coins. See how you do. Let's see the first article. Uranium stocks soar after world's largest producer announces launch of physical uranium fund. Is it really? Oh wow, that's crazy. I don't think that's actually him though, is it? Okay. The rising commodities tide means that uranium prices have also been creeping higher, and after sliding in late September after surging above $50 a pound, uranium is now back in the upper 40s. Continue. The rising commodities tide means that uranium prices have also been creeping higher after sliding in late September after surging above $50 a pound. Uranium is now back in the upper 40s, with Numerical quoting the bid asks of 45.47 this morning, a number, this is an article from yesterday, a number which, however, could rise sharply higher as a result of the day's big news, which has sent the uranium sector sharply higher, with names such as CCJ up over 6% on the day. Continue. We are referring to the surprise news out of Kazakhstan, where the world's largest producer and seller of natural uranium, Kazatomprom, responsible for providing some 40% of global primary uranium, today announced that it had taken a page out of the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, which we talked about a couple of days ago, which back in September we dubbed the Bitcoin-like opportunity in uranium, will participate in a physical uranium fund, ANU Energy OEIC Limited, established on the Astana International Financial Center in Kazakhstan. According to the press release, the fund will hold physical uranium as a long-term investment, with its initial purchases financed through the founders' round investment totaling $50 million, sourced from Kazatomprom at 48.5%, the National Investment Corporation of the National Bank of Kazakhstan at 48.5%, and then the Genshi Global Limited, the fund manager, at 3%. Continue. Is Magal to the Safe Moon Convention? I'm not sure. I got to text her and ask her. I didn't even know there was a Safe Moon Convention. So the world's largest producer of uranium, Kazatomprom, is starting a physical uranium fund, which is good news for the uranium market, especially now that not just France, but there's an article, I think I actually have it in there, that England is also looking, that English lawmakers are looking at pushing for nuclear energy to be considered green energy, carbon neutral, which it should have been from the start. Which means that there's a good investment there in uranium, especially if electricity usage keeps going up with the electrification of everything. Good job, Tiffany. She got UUUU, which is a uranium company, the other day. Polkadot. I haven't looked into Polkadot. I know that it is a cryptocurrency. I see it on here. It's trading about $41 a share. I haven't looked into that one, Janet. So that's the news about uranium. We can go to the next one. Four key takeaways from the SEC's meme stock report. Let's go. The long-awaited SEC report concerning the Wall Street bets fueled short squeeze that happened in GameStop earlier this year was published Monday afternoon. The 45-page report, titled Staff Report on Equity and Options Market Structure Conditions in Early 21, draws several conclusions on what happened in the valuation surge and volatility surrounding GameStop shares. Continue. The extreme volatility in meme stocks in January 21 tested the capacity and resiliency of our securities markets in a way that few could have anticipated. One key to the report is the call out on individual investors that may have lost money during the meme stock trading frenzy. However, when share prices change rapidly and brokerage firms suddenly suspend trading, investors may lose money. Yes. The report highlights that individual customers made up a high percentage of GameStop option traders, with three named brokerages of Robinhood Markets, TD Ameritrade, and E-Trade Securities representing 66% of customers trading GME options. Continue. TD Ameritrade is owned by Charles Schwab, and E-Trade is owned by Morgan Stanley. Market makers Citadel and Virtu Financial are also named in the report, representing 50% and 26% of internalized volume during the month of January for GameStop shares, respectively. So there's 4 potential changes. The SEC report highlights the value of the trading system that allows buyers and sellers to participate. People may disagree about the prospects of GameStops and the other meme stocks. My goodness. But those disagreements are what should lead to price discovery rather than disruptions. Items outlined in the report for further consideration include 4 key topics. Let's see them. The first topic is the ability of a brokerage to restrict trading in certain securities. This could lead to changes at brokerages including Robinhood, which became the key name targeted by retail and traders for restricting trading in stocks like GameStop. Payment for order flow is called out in the report, which could have an impact on Robinhood's future earnings if changes are made. Trading in dark pools or through wholesalers is another item to be looked at, as much of the retail order flow for GameStop shares was reported to happen off exchange. They face fewer requirements concerning their operational transparency and resiliency as compared to exchanges or ATSs. Short selling and short squeeze is the last key topic of the report. The SEC calls for improved reporting of short sales that could allow regulators the ability to better track the category. I don't think that should be. Then how are you supposed to gamble with shorts? Continue. 14-year-old sells NFTs for $435,000. Not a nice, very nice income there for 14 years old. Thank you, JB. AT&T went up to 8%. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know why AT&T is getting hammered so hard. They haven't, I mean, there's no news on it, no bad news. It's crazy. Abigail, a 14-year-old non-fungible token creator and YouTuber, sold her Solana-based NFTs for $435,000. According to a Monday Zai Crypto report, Abigail Belugi's collection of 8,000 NFTs sold out, with the priciest ones being sold for over 300 Solana, $299, and so on and so forth. The tokens were listed on NFT marketplace Alpha Art, which facilitates their exchange without imposing any listing fees. The collection is described by Abigail as the oh-so-cutest collection of hand-illustrated, algorithmically generated NFTs available on the Solana. And it was purportedly inspired by the high school freshman's love for animals. Continue. Of the profits, 10% will be sent to the Beluga Whale Conservation Organization and another 10% to children's hospital program Sunshine Kids. Abigail also plans to adopt beluga whales and gift their sponsorship to random belugi owners. Abigail is far from being a unique case. In late August, the news broke that the Weird Whales collection of 3,350 NFTs created by 12-year-old programmer Benjamin Ahmed sold for over 1,800 Ethereum, about $6.8 million. Yes, I can go over those. Over the different uranium stocks. So there is UU. There's URA, which is just a uranium ETF, URA. Then there's Denison Mines, DNN. And there's UEC, Uranium Energy Corp, UEC. And then there's SRUUF, which is that Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. There were some problems with this not being cleared on for trading on some U.S. exchanges. but they are working on being in compliance since they're based out of Canada. But SRUUF, that's one that I would keep an eye on, since that is the Physical Uranium Trust. So those are just a couple. Cami, how do we learn to do this? That's a good question. I started to look into it, and I stopped short where I had to learn to do some programming or whatever to do these NFTs. They just, Alonzo, what happened there is this little girl just drew these NFTs on paper and then made NFTs out of them. But you do need to do some programming. I'm sure there's other ways to do it. I just haven't looked into it yet. But when I was researching this a couple of weeks ago, this NFTs, you had to do like programming and stuff like that. SRUUF. I am still purchasing physical silver. Silver is actually going to be on our list to research today for low risk. We'll go over that here in a little bit. But NFTs, there's an article, when was that, last week or the week before that, that it's going to be how our generation collects its art, or how our generation does art. That's what they were talking about. Next article. Benzinga chart of the day, why Microsoft might have the most important chart in the market. So Microsoft has been on our stocks to research before. Let's see it. Microsoft, the shares of Microsoft have reached an important crossroads. The path they take may set the direction for the entire stock market. Microsoft's stock has hit resistance at 305. There's a wall of sellers at this level. When the shares reached it in August and again in September, they rolled over and moved lower. The stock has reached this critical level once again. If it breaks the resistance and trades higher, it'll show that the sellers who created it are gone. Buyers will need to pay higher prices, and this will force the stock into rally mode. But if the resistance doesn't break, it'll show the sellers are still in the market. This means there's a good chance shares trend lower once again. Continue. So there's the resistance at 305. And it was hit there in August. What was that? August 20 something. And then again in December, about a month later. So if it breaks through that, Microsoft's going to go higher, and they're saying it's an indicator for the wider market that it'll go higher. So take a look at Microsoft, see if that's something that a company that you would like to invest in. Continue. Fashion firm Rent the Runway. I know that this has been a topic before. Rent the Runway aims for nearly $1.3 billion valuation in US IPO. A woman looks at clothes at Rent the Runway store, an online subscription service for women to rent designer dresses and accessory items in New York City. Rent the Runway is aiming for a valuation of nearly $1.3 billion in its initial public offering, as the fashion rental company looks to cash in on the rising interest in pre-owned clothing. The company, founded in 2009, lets users rent and shop secondhand clothes and accessories such as handbags, jewelry from over 18,000 styles, more than 750 designer brands. It also allows customers to rent and shop home goods. Continue. Rent the Runway plans to sell 15 million shares priced between $18 and $21 a piece in its IPO, raising $315 million according to a filing. Earlier this month, the Brooklyn, New York-based company disclosed a near 39% drop in revenue for the fiscal year 2020. Its top line also took a hit in the first half of the fiscal year, with revenue down 9% for the period ending July 31st. Rent the Runway said its active subscribers more than doubled to 111,000 in the first 9 months of 2021. Demand for secondhand clothes has jumped in recent months as customers become increasingly conscious about their carbon footprint. I think this company, honestly, it might still do well, but I think that this company, that the owners are just trying to cash out at this point. Because if they had a 39% drop in revenue for 2020, which is understandable, and then the first half of this year, subscribers are up, but their revenue is still down 9%, it looks like they're just trying to IPO and get a cash out. Continue. New Bitcoin futures ETF could trigger rally to 168,000. Analyst asserts. Could it trigger a rally to 168,000? Possibly. Let's see it. Bitcoin's price could catch a serious boost from a new ETF, according to analysts at Fundstrat. Fundstrat team, which previously published a year-end Bitcoin price target of 100,000, now says Bitcoin equilibrium price could spike to as high as $168,000 if the ProShares exchange-traded fund that will begin trading on the New York Stock Exchange on Tuesday, it was supposed to start yesterday, but it didn't, attracts a serious wave of inflows from investors. Fundstrat is predicting the new Bitcoin futures ETF will deliver higher first-year inflows than what the InvestQ QQQ Trust was able to attract back in 2002. Continue. The new Bitcoin ETF will enable vastly more individuals to allocate to crypto. We think Bitcoin demand will exceed the inflows for QQQ. SEC Chair Gary Gensler has repeatedly signaled his openness to an ETF tied to Bitcoin futures, as opposed to one contingent on spot Bitcoin. Fundstrat's thesis is particularly bullish on investor enthusiasm for a fund settled in Bitcoin futures. Next. P&G earnings top estimates as price hikes help offset some costs, warns more inflation ahead. Let's see it. Procter Gamble reported earnings. Procter Gamble on Thursday, reported quarterly earnings and revenue that topped analysts' expectations, but higher costs weighed on the company's profits. The consumer giant also raised its forecast for commodity and freight costs for the remainder of the fiscal year, warning that it believes inflation is still increasing. Shares of the company fell 1.7% pre-market trading. So they beat on earnings 161 versus 169 and revenue of 20.34 versus 19.91. Continue. P&G reported fiscal first quarter net income. Price hikes on some of P&G's products, like Pampers diapers, contributed to organic sales growth by 1%. Higher prices offset increased freight costs during the quarter, but couldn't keep up with climbing commodity costs. P&G CFO Andre Schulten said on a call with the press that the company would raise prices on certain products within its beauty, oral care, and grooming categories to deal with inflation, like Head & Shoulders. However, he said that the company isn't intentionally prioritizing premium products because of supply chain constraints. I don't know about that. So there you have it. It doesn't look like P&G thinks that inflation is transitory. Also, we haven't heard from the Fed chairman in a while on inflation. Continue. We can go to the next one. So P&G beat earnings. SEC says brokers enticed by payment for order flow are making trading into a game to lure investors. Hasn't it always been a game? Continue. Securities and Exchange Commission said online brokerages enticed to increase revenue through the controversial industry practice of payment for order flow are turning stock trading into a game in order to encourage activity from retail investors. Wall Street's main regulator on Monday released its highly anticipated report on GameStop. We already went over that. Continue. Payment for order flow is one of the largest revenue sources at Robinhood, the millennial favorite stock trading app that raked in a record number of new customers over the past year and went public in August. To motivate trading, some brokers, including Robinhood, made their platforms visually enticing and offer in-game-like features such as points, rewards, leaderboards, and bonuses to increase engagement amid criticism. Robinhood got rid of its confetti animation in March. Oh man. Continue. Consideration should be given to whether game-like features and celebratory animations that are likely intended to create positive feedback from trading lead investors to trade more than they would otherwise. Still, the SEC review may fall short to some in terms of making concrete recommendations and laying the groundwork in potential changes to U.S. trading practices. I say we just go back to calling our broker on the phone and placing orders that way. The agency also did...
We need more of that. Let them feel it today.
The agency also didn't reach a conclusion as to whether any of the trading and the restrictions on trading was manipulative. What's the use of this? They probably spent millions of dollars coming out with this report, and nothing came of it. The agency acknowledged that the extreme volatility in meme stocks tested the capacity and resiliency of the markets. Yeah, but that, I mean, money was made, so it's called a free market. Next article. RBC says this lithium producer should rally as electric vehicle boom boosts demand. And that was Albemarle, ALB, I believe is the ticker. ALB. What happened here? Yes. So if you're interested, that's another that's a lithium miner, Albemarle. Lithium price recovery coupled with an acceleration in global demand for electric vehicles should boost chemicals company Albemarle, RBC said Tuesday, and that's a lithium mine right there. I don't see any difference between that and like a nice little oil production plant. I don't understand how this is so much more environmentally friendly. Continue. Stock futures rise as major companies report earnings. Looks like sentiment is going up, market sentiment. Banks all reported earnings and they all had earnings beats. P&G had earnings beats. Let's see the article. I just got a notification here that the Bitcoin trading future, the ProShares Bitcoin strategy ETF, looks like it's already up about 3%, trading at 41.17 currently. So it looks like it went live. BITO is the ticker symbol. BITO. U.S. stock futures ticked up as a slew of companies released earnings, which investors praised for insight into how corporates are faring with inflation and supply chain disruptions. So we already went over Procter Gamble. Johnson & Johnson went higher after it logged a larger profit in its third quarter than a year earlier, lifted by higher sales in its pharmaceutical, medical device, and consumer health divisions. Travelers shares rose 2.6 after the insurance company beat estimates for revenue and core income per share. Continue. Procter & Gamble, we know over that. Let's see what else there is. If you look at earnings so far, excluding financial, it's been very good. So that's good news so far. Continue. Bitcoin's up. Energy markets rose, 84.73 a barrel. Will we see $100 oil this year? Possibly. All right, next. Day traders are driving uranium prices higher. I'm not going to say that I'm not guilty of this. Individual traders flock to Canadian Uranium Investment Trust that has snapped up nuclear fuel and boosted prices, which is SPROOUT. Enthusiasm from individual traders is reshaping the market for nuclear fuel that generated a tenth of the world's electricity and sending uranium-linked stocks higher. After languishing for a decade after the Fukushima disaster led Japan and Germany to close nuclear reactors, spot uranium prices have shot up to $47 a pound from $32.25 at the start of August. They remain below their peak of $137 per pound in 2007. US-listed shares of Canadian uranium giant Cameco, CCJ, have jumped more than 20% in October, and almost doubled. Fellow Canadian miner Denison Mines, DNN, has surged 27% this month, almost tripled this year. Texas Uranium Energy Corp, UEC, has climbed more than 14% in October. Continue. So those are just a couple there. Cocomelon, one of my daughter's favorite shows. No! Moonbug, wait, I know, it's like, it really is. I mean, I've seen videos of kids crying, screaming, and this comes on and quiet immediately. I don't know what it is about it, but there is something about it. Companies seeking a valuation of at least $3 billion. That's probably, there's $3 billion, I think that's undervalued, way undervalued. Continue. They have something here. Let's see it. Moonbug Entertainment, the company behind the hit children's show Cocomelon, is looking to cash in on its popularity by either selling itself or going public, according to people familiar with the matter. I'm sure my daughter might put an offer in to buy the whole company. Cocomelon, with its lilting nursery rhymes on subjects, I'm gonna have to look that word up, like putting on shoes, has been a breakout hit of the pandemic, with busy parents parking their children in front of the TV to sing along with computer-generated toddlers. It became even more popular when Netflix in July struck a deal to launch a spin-off of the series for 3 seasons. The company has received interest from multiple suitors and is seeking a valuation of more than $3 billion. Some of the people said one suitor is a company backed by private equity giant Blackstone, run by former Walt Disney Company executive Kevin Mayer and Tom Staggs. Continue. There is no guarantee that the conversation with potential acquirers will result in a deal. Moonbug also weighed in on an initial public offering, which I would be interested in, because, I mean, it is crazy. If you don't have kids that watch this, go to YouTube and type in kids watching Cocomelon or something like that. You will see how quickly they go from screaming to absolutely quiet and just fixated on the TV. It's incredible. Continue. Moonbug is on pace to generate roughly $100 million in profits this year. Wow. According to people familiar with the matter, through a combination of licensing, advertisement, and selling merchandise related to its popular shows, Moonbug is expecting profits to double next year to roughly $200 million, as it acquires new shows and licenses them to distributors around the globe. By the end of 2021, Moonbug expects to have at least 100 licensing partners, up from 15 at the beginning of the year. So Moonbug IPO for the show Cocomelon. See how it goes next. New York Attorney General targets 5 crypto companies, 2 lending platforms ordered to shut down. So they're cracking down on crypto in New York. But states like Wyoming and Arizona and Florida are wide open for cryptocurrency. New York Attorney General Letitia James announced Monday her efforts to crack down on unregistered cryptocurrency companies. In New York, lending platforms must register with the Office of the Attorney General to operate in the state or offer products to its residents. The announcement details today, Attorney General James directed 2 of these lending platforms to immediately cease their unregistered and unlawful activities in New York, and directed 3 other platforms to immediately provide information about their activities and products. The notice explains that crypto lending platforms are essentially interest-bearing accounts that offer investors a rate of return on virtual currencies that are deposited with them. Under the Martin Act, the nature and function of most common virtual currency lending products or services demonstrate that they fall squarely within any of several categories of security. Continue. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission also views lending products as securities. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler recently told cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase that its lend products were securities. The New York Attorney General website also published the cease and desist letters to the 2 lending platforms in question. with the letters. While the letters were redacted, the file names indicated that they were sent to Nexo and Celsius Network, 3 other unnamed firms receiving a letter asking for information about their activities. So I think that they're just mad and sad because investors are making good returns on cryptocurrencies. And there's some cryptocurrency companies where you can lend out your stable coins and you can get between 20 and 30% interest on them per year, which is not something that the banks want you to receive. They don't like you getting that much interest. Continue. Grayscale confirms plan to convert GBTC into Bitcoin ETF. So Grayscale, we've had on our list before, GBTC. They want to turn it into a Bitcoin ETF. Let's see what BITO is doing. It doesn't look like I can buy it yet on TD Ameritrade. Let me check Robinhood. BITO. Oh, it looks like I can buy it on Robinhood. Oh, and I can buy it now on TD Ameritrade. So BITO just went live, the first Bitcoin futures ETF. And GBTC is also planning on an actual Bitcoin ETF because right now they are listed over-the-counter, OTC. All right, let's go over the stocks to research for today. I've got a couple for you. Low risk. Oh, there we go. Yes, we'll do that one first. So that's high risk for today. BITF, Bitfarms Limited. Bitfarms Limited, BITF. It's a Canada-based blockchain infrastructure company that operates cryptocurrency mining operations in North America. The company owns and operates blockchain farms that power the global decentralized financial economy. The company provides computing power to cryptocurrency networks such as Bitcoin, earning fees from each network for securing and processing transactions. So that's from Bitfarms. That's how many Bitcoin they mined. So as of the total as of the end of September, because they haven't come out with October's numbers yet, 2,407 Bitcoins mined. Let me see the second part of that tweet. Mined 305 new Bitcoin during September, approximately 10 Bitcoin mined daily. So they have 2,312 in custody, with a total value of approximately $100 million, with a Bitcoin price based at $43,500, which now is way more than that, $62,000. So they have they're sitting on a good amount of Bitcoin. So that's our high risk one for today. BITF. This is a high risk play as the price of Bitcoin continues to climb. Canadian Bitcoin mining firm. It's trading at $575. That's where it was trading pre-market. Let's see where it's at right now. BITF. $547. It's down about 2% right now. But it's a company that's been discussed on Twitter. I think it could have a good run in the current crypto bull market. Could see a little dip in it before it keeps going up, just because the RSI was way overbought there for a little bit. But it could make you a quick 10 to 20% profit. Since it only needs to go up another dollar to do that, I'll be watching this one today, this week, and see if it moves together with my Riot and Mara stocks, and I might day trade this one at some point. A normal amount of Bitcoin, it depends on how many Bitcoin miners you have. There's some companies that do more than they do, but they have more Bitcoin mining equipment. Medium risk for today is TJX. TJX Companies Incorporated, parent company of TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods. It operates stores in the US, Canada, and Western Europe. This stock is attractive even though it has a fairly high price to earnings ratio. They have had good earnings beats this year and came through the pandemic relatively unscathed, even though they got a lot of negative press. I saw articles on how they had TJ Maxx would have to shut down and go into bankruptcy, but they came out of it and now they're sitting on a healthy cash in excess of $11 billion. They just announced this past week or yesterday they'll be offering some of their home goods stores merchandise online, which will put them into an even better position. They only have 2% of their sales are e-commerce right now, so they have growth potential in that area. They have a small dividend, 1.61%. In my opinion, one of the strongest companies in the clothing/apparel space at the moment. They do have a good amount of debt, but it's still below the industry norm for the specialty retail sector. I think it's definitely a candidate for a good 10% return in the short term, especially if market sentiment is turning positive due to earnings. Mara is doing great. And then low risk for today, SLV. iShares Silver Trust. The trust seeks to reflect the performance of the price of silver. It has had about a 5% return since its inception 2006. Good long-term hold if the price of silver ever skyrockets again. It's always a good idea to have some commodities or precious metals in your portfolio, not just cryptocurrencies and tech stocks. We've seen a nice dip since the high in June of around $26 in silver. I think it's around $22 right now. $21, $22 is where it's trading. So if you're interested, SLV, that's just paper silver. You can also buy physical silver on exchanges like APMEX, American Precious Metals Exchange, or JM Bullion. And you can buy 1 ounce silver rounds or 1 ounce silver bars. That's usually what I do. And have them shipped right to your house. So that was it for today. Low risk SLV, medium risk TJX, and high risk BITF, Bitfarms Limited. And if you would like to partner with Revival today, now's your chance. You can do so by doing #donate on Facebook. Text RT to 50155. Cash App $RTGive. Venmo @RTGive. RevivalToday.com/PayPal. For PayPal, we also accept cryptocurrencies. If you scan that QR code that you'll see on your screen with your phone, iPad, it'll pull up a link so you can donate the cryptocurrency. You can also send a check to Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania 15329. And then don't forget to claim your offer, which is currently the mug, which I'll send you, the Check the Market mug. So make sure to claim your offer. There it is. So for those of you who haven't got it yet, now's your chance, and we'll send that to you. Make sure you tune in at 11 a.m. for Revival Today Live with Evangelist Jonathan. At 4 p.m., Revival Today Live with Maddie. And then check the news tonight at 10 p.m. Tomorrow morning, 7:30, Morning Prayer with Kofi. And then check the market again. I'll be with you at 9:20 a.m. tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at the markets, see if they're still up. See what they're doing here. Looks like they're still up. About 0.5% on the Dow and the S&P. The Nasdaq's lagging with 0.39%. Not too bad. We'll see where it ends up today. Go out there and make some money today. I appreciate that, Sandra. Thanks everybody for watching. Stock Market Samurai, thanks for tuning in. I will see you all tomorrow.